According to Bob Arum, the two frontrunners for Tyson Fury's next fight are now Agit Kabayel and Carlos Takam. If we slide on over here to the WBC heavyweight rankings, of course, you got Tyson Fury as the champion, Povetkin as the interim champion. And in terms of the top 10 contenders, Kabayel comes in at number 15. Carlos Takam is nowhere to be seen in the top 15. So it would require the very cynical move, which many of these sanctioning bodies, if not all of them, regularly make, where they pluck somebody who is sometimes nowhere near the top 15, and overnight they give him a top 15 or top 10 ranking to accommodate their champion. What's the point in even having a top 15 if that's what you're going to do? What's the point in even having a rule where the champion's supposed to fight somebody in the top 15 if you can just arbitrarily, or more accurately, the champion can arbitrarily pick anybody out of the top 50 and you're going to give them a top 15 ranking just to accommodate? And what's the point? It really is farcical the way these sanctioning bodies operate. With that being said, Carlos Takam has been a tough heavyweight over the years. He's given us some entertainment. He's put on some decent performances. He's pushed some fighters very, very hard. But he did get knocked out by Derek Chisora. And Tyson Fury is the WBC World Heavyweight Champion. He claims to be head and shoulders above everybody else. He claims to be on a different level. And if he's making that claim, shouldn't his opponents also be on a different level? Should he be plucking people out of the top 30 or top 50 rather than fighting somebody who's already in the top 15? Is that the conduct you expect from somebody who claims to be the best heavyweight out there, head and shoulders above the rest? You let me know. As far as Kabayel, from a stylistic point of view, it's probably not as entertaining a fight as the Carlos Takam fight. But from a credibility standpoint, at least he's in the top 15. At least he's still relatively young. At least he's still unbeaten. So, yeah, I can see why some people might not like the Kabayel fight because he, from what I've seen, is a fairly negative fighter. But still, you know, he is a guy who has his best years ahead of him and he hasn't tasted defeat yet. Whereas Carlos Takam has tasted defeat and his best years are almost certainly behind him. And of course, Kabayel beat Derek Chisora, whereas Carlos Takam was knocked out by Derek Chisora. Obviously, those were very different fights. Takam was actually beating the brakes off Chisora until he got caught, whereas Kabayel was moving around and running from Chisora the whole night, and he won, was it a majority decision or a split decision? So you guys let me know what you think in the comments below about these front runners to face Tyson Fury in his homecoming fight in December, Agit Kabayel and Carlos Takam. Because when you look at the rest of the WBC top 15, you've got the likes of Andy Ruiz, you've got Luis Ortiz, you've got, I'm not going to mention Dillian Whyte because he's already tied up with another fight. Yes, Ortiz is, but it's only a journeyman, so he could easily drop that fight. So you've got, and I'm not saying Ortiz is any great shakes, to be honest with you, especially at this age and after multiple KO defeats. But as I say, Andy Ruiz, former world champion, a lot of people, based upon previous videos I did on this subject, said they'd like to see Andy Ruiz get the opportunity to fight Tyson Fury. And let's see if Fury can do a better job than AJ did when AJ fought Ruiz in that rematch. So you've got people like him in there. Joseph Parker, okay, he's tied up at the moment. And he's far too pally with Tyson Fury to probably go ahead and fight him. Dubois, too early for him. Rivas, a lot of people said that would be decent. Hrgovic, would Hrgovic take it right now? We know Michael Hunter would take it. And that's my personal choice. In an ideal world, I'd like to see Tyson Fury take on Michael Hunter. Joyce is tied up. Chisora's tied up. Charles Martin. You know, I actually think that could be quite a fun fight if Charles Martin fought Tyson Fury. I suspect, I could be wrong here, I suspect that during the the last 8 months or whatever, Charles Martin probably hasn't been keeping himself in shape. That's just a suspicion. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm assuming he probably hasn't been keeping himself in shape. And even though December is far enough away to get yourself in shape, perhaps Martin isn't really even ready for them, won't even be ready for them because he's so badly out of shape now. I don't know. I could be way off here, but I'm just assuming that based on what he did after the AJ fight, where he really let himself go. So I don't know. And Ajagba's nowhere near ready for championship level by his own admission. So anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Tyson Fury's next opponent is at the moment likely to be Agit Kabayel or Takam.